So I was watching Inside Out 2 a minute ago. I got about halfway through, so this isn't like a full movie review, because obviously I don't have the full perspective on it. But I feel like I have enough to say something of meaning about it. And I don't super enjoy it, to be honest. I have a few thoughts going through my mind about it. The biggest being I cannot relate to this. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm not enjoying it. And it's making me question, just because I can't relate, does that mean it's not good? And my conclusion is partially because I feel like a big thing about Pixar movies is they're supposed to have universal experiences within them. So the things that are making me not relate to the main character or the situations she's in is her very exaggerated reactions to everything. And, even before they hit the puberty button or whatever, and she starts overreacting, it's before that. I mean, it's the expressions. This is something that I can't stand with animation recently. It's totally gotten over the top. As a person who does over the top expressions in real life, it's past my line by far. The way she reacts when she gets her braces and the little rubber band pops off, it's like, stop! It makes me want to punch the screen. Everything's so rubbery and I don't know. I think that's just me not liking the style of CG animation lately. So, over the top reactions. It's for kids, I understand, but some over the top expressions that I've found really good. The first one that comes to mind is like The Lion King. The original one, obviously, not the CG. I remember little Simba having really, really crazy expressions, but they're cute and, they make sense for the situation. I feel like nowadays it's expressions for the sake of expressions and they don't really fit the situation. That's my 2 cents. I'm getting a notification here. What was the second thing? Oh, yeah, so her over-exaggerated reactions to everything. I think this is where I have to touch on the puberty thing. As a 22-year-old person, that's long ago for me. But does anyone else feel like puberty wasn't actually that bad? Like, I don't remember there being... So, Riley wakes up and she's like, ugh, and she's sweating all of a sudden, and I'm so gross and I just can't control my emotions. That didn't happen to me. I was already a pretty emotional kid, Like, I would have my little bouts of anxiety or anger. If anything, it kind of got more controlled through puberty because I was just maturing at a normal, steady pace. Also, I just noticed they didn't have her, get her period or anything. Does that... Wait, she's 13? Maybe she already had... This doesn't make any sense. The timeline is not... Maybe they're not talking about that. That was, the only thing that was actually, an adjustment. But literally other than that, the sweating, the awkwardness, what else? I don't know, feeling like your body is growing too fast for you. I didn't experience that, and I didn't experience, honestly, there were not a lot of changes except for just getting more mature and becoming a more full human being. And yes, it's a movie and it has to be exaggerated, but I feel like this could kind of scare kids who are pre-puberty. Honestly, if I watched this movie and I was like 7 years old, I'd be like, I don't want that to happen to me. I want to stay the same person. You're gonna stay the same person if there's any kids watching this. I hope there's not, but you're always gonna be the same person. And that's my perspective on it. You know, I probably have... I am asexual, so that's probably another reason why I didn't have like a super crazy, oh, what are these emotions, you know, thing like that. Because I was just me. Day-to-day life. I mean, you know, it's a hard time in your life because of other things, honestly. The things that were going on with my body and mind were the last thing I had to worry about at that age. Talking 12 to 14. It's fine. I feel like people need to chill the frick out. So, yeah, that's one reason why I just don't find that very compelling. Also, I can't relate to the school experience because I didn't go to school. I bet you couldn't tell. Bet you couldn't tell I was homeschooled. No, but I was obviously socialized, so I feel like I should be able to relate to the way that the main character is reacting to these new situations of wanting to be liked and wanting to be cool and, you know, envy and... Oh, okay, this is where I'm going to bring in those other emotions and a little bit of a complaint that I have about it. Now, I don't know. They might go into more depth on what their purpose is. You know, the anxiety... What's the other one? Anxiety, boredom, envy, embarrassment. I don't see those emotions as really separate things. Actually, embarrassment definitely is. Is it? I don't know. I feel like emotions are very complex and they're all tied together kind of in a web. One thing is never just one thing. Your brain has goals in mind to protect itself, essentially, and all emotions are just ways to do that. They're a means to an end, and sometimes they can give false alarms. Anxiety is the one that I have the most experience with because I have an anxiety disorder, but I don't see anxiety as really a separate thing from fear. I think it's a fear response going off at the wrong time or the wrong frequency. So yeah, I don't really like the fact that they're separate entities in this movie, but again, it's a movie and it's for kids, so it's not going to be an accurate psychological representation of the brain. It's a story. But still, you know. I wonder why I haven't really been able to relate to Pixar movies lately. Sorry I'm playing the guitar, by the way. I just wanted something to do. And I honestly think maybe it's because they're trying too hard to make it relatable. Because if I look back on the older Pixar movies, the characters I relate to are Mike Wazowski, baby. You know, because he's like, hey, he's a funny guy, and he's just trying to do his best, and then he has like these crazy, like, what reactions to things, and he loves his girlfriend, and, you know, like, that's a guy. That's a little guy that I can relate to. His experience. Even Monsters, what is it? University. That was okay. Again, I think that was trying too hard to relate, but it was still a character that was already fully fleshed out, so yeah, I can relate to that, because that's something universal. Who else? When I was a kid, the freaking dad from Nemo. I don't know why, but like I understood him. You know, and that's a fish. And the other guy's not even a human at all, or anything of this planet. Also, Ratatouille. Yes! As an artist, good representation. As a fellow rat. So yeah, I mean, Pixar's like, okay, we're making a story about a kid in school with a family. I can relate to part of that because I grew up as a girl and I have a family, but it just kind of feels like kind of soulless in a way. It almost feels like watching a commercial because that's what a family is supposed to look like and that's what a 13-year-old girl's supposed to do. And I don't see myself in that, and I don't see my family. My family doesn't look like that, you know? And honestly, I feel like maybe I'm making this way too serious, but maybe it's like due to class or something because I didn't have a lot of money growing up. And you know, this character in the movie is not the most wealthy person, but she's obviously middle class and white, so she has a white experience. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I relate to the typical thing. And is that on me? Is that like, well, you just can't, it's not your thing, so, you know, ignore it. Yeah, probably. But also, I wish that they could make a movie that I feel like, oh, I really get that, like they used to back in my day. I feel like I had more to this. I haven't played this guitar since my friend fixed it with some electrical tape. He put the switches in so I can now plug it in again for the first time. And did he get a scratch on there? I'm gonna have to call him up. I haven't been able to plug this baby in since 2019, so I should probably put this on an amp soon. Since I only watched half the movie, I don't want to unfairly judge it. I think they're probably going to have some big emotional climax at the end, and I'm guessing that Riley's sense of self is going to have changed by the end of it because it was sitting on top of that pile of memories in the back of the mind. So the sense of self is probably going to grow into something new and like more complex, and it's gonna be able to incorporate the other emotions. I mean, it's kind of a good question, you know. Are some emotions bad for us? Is anxiety bad for us? I think if you think of it as a separate thing, maybe it is. But if you think of it as an extension of fear, the way I think of it, then no, it's not. You just have to train it to respond at the right times. So yeah, I don't know how the movie's gonna end, but I hope it surprises me. Maybe I'll make a second video when I have a more full opinion on it. But I do want to say that the emotions this character goes through are not very relatable to me in the situation she's in. Does anyone else feel like that? Do you feel like the renovation of the mind was a little bit exaggerated? Because I didn't feel like when I turned 13 or 12 or whatever that there was some sort of, whoa, what's happening to me? I can't stand it. I'm so sorry. Like, I feel like there's so much propaganda in this world. Life is just a journey, man. And, like, you're as much yourself at 10 years old as you're gonna be at 50. You can quote me on that, because we're just like a stream of consciousness. I'm presenting my thoughts in a sarcastic way so that no one thinks I'm crazy. But I do believe that. I believe that I am still the same me that I was when I was 4 years old. And obviously I don't act the same and I don't have the same thoughts, but I remember being that person. And it's valid, you know? And there was no moment where I woke up and I was somebody else or felt like I wasn't at home in my body, you know? And I honestly hope that it's the same with aging, because there's a lot of propaganda for women going through menopause. Oh, you're gonna have the hot flashes, you're gonna like wake up in the middle of the night, and it's so difficult. Maybe for some people, but couldn't be me. I'm different. Yeah. I was gonna go on another rant, but I'm way past. Sorry guys for the worst video ever. Goodbye.